Hi again, Stampin' friends. I'm here today with a video about the one-sheet wonders that I created recently. They were both on my blog and on my newsletter, and so I wanted to maybe make a video to make it a little more clear because I did have some questions sent to me about it. So I thought, hey, if it'll help, might as well. So this is the template that I created. It's not exactly a template. It's kind of more just a cutting guide. What I would imagine that someone could use this for is to, and I listed this in my newsletter and on my blog, is to cut an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper at 5 1/4 by 4 based on this. And the reason that I used 8.5 by 11 is I think that it makes very nice size pieces to use for our typical American sheets that we use, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So if you're from another country, you'll probably want to find a one-sheet wonder guide from your own country, one that uses the same size cards that you do. So this first top left quadrant is cut to a size of 4 by 5 1/4, and then I said cut it on the diagonal. Now, this card uses two 5 1/4 by 4 sheets that are cut on the diagonal in order to get the sheets that would go here to be matching. Otherwise, if you just do one, you're going to have a front and a back. So like on this card, I only used this piece, and then I used a full sheet of this purple. You'll notice this is our celebration paper that I'm just using because it is so pretty, and it's still usable after celebration. So for this card, and you could tuck anything inside here, you could use a gift card or a bookmark. What this allows you to do is use two different sides of paper. So that's something to do on that one. Then this quadrant, I cut 1 7/8 sheets because they are perfect for going on faux gatefolds. 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. They're perfect for going on faux gatefolds, which are these side pieces. This is the piece that I stamped using the Painted Seasons stamp set. And so it's also easier to use an 8.5 by 11 sheet if you're going to stamp. So that's why I used this 8.5 by 11 template again. This is the faux gatefold, which opens like this. Here's another faux gatefold, and on my blog you can see one that uses a belly band, a regular gatefold that uses a belly band. This one is just a gatefold that does not use a belly band. What I used on this one to keep it shut was just a little butterfly that has a glue dot under it, and it holds the card mostly shut when it's ready to be put in the envelope. So that's another way that you can do a gatefold card. Then this bottom corner here, I used you could hold this card either way. So I used the 1 1/4 squares matted on 1 1/2 inch squares, and then I used the remainder piece. I didn't cut this bottom off until I had already used this because I thought that made a nice mat, which you could either use it at 2 3/4 by 5 1/4 or 2 3/4 by 5 1/2. So some of this is like, make the decision for what you need for your card. This card the design is a case of Simone Bertram, and what I love about this card is it's, first of all, a different style card than we're used to seeing, and it actually uses this remainder piece cut down just a little bit, so it's the perfect size for this piece, and you can use some other scraps of paper here and here, which just allows you to use up more scraps. The final quadrant is this one where you cut 4 rectangles, which are 1 3/4 by, let's see, 2 3/8. So the two I have for that are this with the Painted Seasons paper. I wanted to mat it, so I used 3 colors because I liked lots of color with this one. So that, I used a double mat. This one is smaller, so you'll notice that the part that's showing of the cardstock is way bigger on this one. And it creates a nice design when you do it either way with that one. Another thing to consider, if you don't like, say, one of these you don't particularly care for, These are all 4 3/4. You know, that's what you mat your card with. You can always use these stitched rectangles and cut the size that you want and use a quadrant if any of the quadrants don't excite you. The final thing I wanted to show you is this card, which uses up these remainder pieces. They're this piece here, 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 and here. Now you can cut those down, or you can just use other leftover pieces. All that I made sure to do, this is the front and the back side of the same paper, is have it woven so that here the butterfly floral paper is showing and here the polka dot paper is showing. So, and you know, vice versa here, so that then that way it's got like kind of got a little basket weave going. You could do even more pieces of paper. You probably just would want to do not too terribly many, so that, because you're not really filling the front of the card. That's kind of another look that you can use that's also cute, but a lot of times people will run those through an embossing folder before they put them on a card, which is very cute. I have a quick tip for you. On this sheet of paper, which we use the punch to punch out, so say if you were going to punch here, say it was a full one and I was going to punch, I would damage the one above it. So to avoid doing that, I just cut them out with my scissors and stick them onto the sticky part of a Post-it note so that I can slide that in there. And that way I avoid punching anything up here or wasting any paper. So I hope that you'll try a one sheet wonder on your own, either with designer series paper or by stamping. And if you do, please let me know in some of the comments, either on my blog or on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.